make a cheeseburger, please, large fries, and a cosmopolitan?
20 years ago, Sex and the City introduced us to one of the most iconic TV protagonists of all time, Carrie Bradshaw.
I had to wonder, are we the new bachelors?
Her character lived the fantasy of being a successful writer who could afford a Manhattan apartment and a closet full of expensive shoes.
I have this little substance abuse problem. Expensive footwear.
And Carrie represented a new form of agency.
For Carrie, she was a writer, too. That's the thrill of her. She loved the idea of trying to form her life into little short stories.
As she put her experiences into her own words, she embodied the idea of being the writer of your own story, going your own way. This vision of the empowered, self-reflective single woman in her 30s still captivates us to this day.
The only time we don't speak is during Sex in the City. She gets Carrie fever, but soon as the show's over, she's right back to being a soldier.
So we couldn't help but wonder, what gave Carrie that it factor? And what did her popularity say about her times?
The fact is, sometimes it's hard to walk in a single woman's shoes. That's why we need really special ones now and then to make the walk a little more fun.
Before we go on, we want to talk a little bit about this video's sponsor, SKILLSHARE. SKILLSHARE is a superb online learning community with thousands of classes about everything: writing, blogging, even fashion. Click the link in the description below to get 2 months access to all classes for free. Now, back to Carrie. Sex and the City framed Carrie as attractively flawed.
So flaws can be good.
Flaws are the best part.
Her shortcomings didn't make her damaged, they gave her complexity. And this characterization made it seem more appealing to be oneself with all of your flaws than to be perfectly put together.
I will never be the woman with the perfect hair who can wear white and not spill on it, and chair committees and write thank you notes. And I can't feel bad about that.
The opening sequence visualizes this message. We see Carrie out in New York when a bus bearing her picture drives through a puddle and splashes her. This sequence sets up the theme of Carrie being fabulous, but far from the flawless image on that bus. The show often reminds us of Carrie's imperfections through scenes where she looks stylish then falls or gets clumsy. Of course, the pretty clumsy woman is a common comedy trope, but Carrie's falls are a statement that she messes up. The takeaway is that she's more interesting and charming because of her ability to fail, get back up, and walk it off. The show juxtaposes attractively flawed Carrie with Big's younger, more refined wife, Natasha.
You know, she's shiny haired, style section, Vera Wang, and I'm, you know, the sex column they run next to ads for penile implants.
Carrie envies Natasha's poise and sophistication, but the show implies that Natasha's flawlessness makes her boring, and that Carrie is inherently a more fascinating person because she's not so impeccable. In Season 2, the girls compare the Big Carrie-Natasha love triangle to The Way We Were, and Carrie likens herself to Barbra Streisand's character, Katie.
Ladies, I am having an epiphany. The world is made up of two types of women, the simple girls and the Katie girls. I'm a Katie girl.
Katie is an outspoken activist who doesn't get the guy in the end, but she's the one viewers like and root for.
Your girl is lovely, Hubble.
Your girl is lovely, Hubble.
Of course, though, in Sex and the City, the Katie does get the guy. So the show is again endorsing the idea that flawed is irresistible. Carrie Bradshaw showed the world what a fulfilling life could look like for single women over 30. Even the fact that she didn't have kids or particularly seemed to want them was pretty groundbreaking.
I don't even have time to eat this cookie.
How is it?
It's so good I forgot to have children.
Carrie was an alternative version of modern womanhood in her time, an ideal that encourages us to aspire to imperfection, that urges us still to embrace the messiness of the journey.
As we drive along this road called life, occasionally a gal will find herself a little lost. And when that happens, I guess she has to let go of the coulda, shoulda, woulda, buckle up, and just keep going.
When Sex and the City first came out, it was revolutionary for a show to focus on sex and relationships from an honest female perspective.
I'm sort of a sexual anthropologist.
There's something incredibly positive about seeing a female protagonist as the lover, the one desiring the guys, rather than being the beloved or the object of desire.
For me, the show is really about the fact that women don't need to be defined by men or by marriage.
More and more single women of a certain age are looking for a certain thing, and that certain thing does not necessarily involve a certain ring.
It's easier to sum up what Carrie's three friends want from their love lives. Charlotte wants a picture-perfect marriage, Samantha wants great sex, and Miranda wants independence and control. Carrie says,
I am someone who is looking for love. Real love.
But what exactly love looks like to Carrie Bradshaw takes 6 seasons and 2 movies to pin down.
Just tell me I'm the one.
She's so obsessed with love that she sometimes gets a little carried away.
I mean, don't get carried away.
And her defining romantic trait seems to be that she needs conflict in her relationships in order to feel satisfied.
I'm used to the hunt, and this is effortless. It's freaking me out.
In season 2, Carrie dates a guy who strikes her as too normal, so she tears apart his apartment looking for proof that there's something wrong with him. Her need for struggle explains why, for the entire series, Carrie is completely fixated on the elusive man we know as Mr. Big.
Honey, you're obsessed with talking about Big, and frankly, we can't take it anymore.
It's out of our league.
What is this, an intervention?
Yes, stop her before she obsesses again.
With her love interest, Mr. Big, she believed they belonged together. And in a very good romantic comedy, that works out. And in life, sometimes that's a pathology.
Big keeps Carrie constantly guessing about their relationship status. He's hot and then cold, and he refuses to commit to her.
Why is it so hard for you to factor me into your life in any real way?
Yet all of this manipulative behavior just makes Carrie double down on her mission to make Big love her.
Something about him. I mean, you should see me around him. I'm not like me. I'm like together Carrie. You know, I wear little outfits. You know, sexy Carrie and casual Carrie.
Each of the women on Sex and the City has a defining relationship with a man who's not the person she expected to end up with. This man offers her the chance of a more fulfilling happiness. For Carrie, that person is Aiden. When the two of them start dating in season 3, Aiden's openness and loving nature make him the anti-Big.
My folks are coming to town this weekend, and I wanted you to meet them.
On their first date, Aiden tells Carrie,
I don't want to be a jerk, but I can't date a smoker.
This symbolizes that to be in this relationship, Carrie will have to change her ways and break her self-destructive habits. But Carrie can't adapt to a healthy relationship and the opportunity it offers her for growth. She's so unsettled by her drama-free relationship with Aiden that she actually gets night terrors.
The irony is Aiden's acting exactly the way I wish Big would have behaved, and I'm behaving just like Big.
Maybe you don't believe it's for real unless somebody's playing hard to get.
It's not long before Carrie goes back to her 2 main addictions, smoking and Big.
I'm having an affair with Big.
I swear to God, I think my heart just stopped.
And also I'm smoking again.
In season 4, Carrie sees Aiden again and urgently wants him back, probably because he's no longer right there waiting for her.
But I lie in bed at night and I think about us and I think about you holding me and...
You broke my heart!
And once they get back together, Carrie tries again to adjust to a traditional, relatively stable relationship. But it's like she's physically allergic to that.
My body is literally rejecting the idea of marriage.
At this point, it's clear that Carrie is a kind of love junkie, which is really more of a drama junkie. She's someone who's always looking for her next hit of romantic struggle. And we wonder if that love she says she's looking for is really the pain of unrequited or dysfunctional love.
Did I ever really love Big? Or was I addicted to the pain? The exquisite pain of wanting someone so unattainable.
Nussbaum at The New Yorker has called Carrie, quote, the unacknowledged first female anti-hero on television. Nussbaum argues that before Sex and the City, the single female protagonists we saw on TV were what she calls you-go-girl types, who both empowered women and appealed to men. But Carrie didn't necessarily fit this mold. Her unique fashion showed she was dressing for herself, not for the opposite sex.
My relationship is at a standstill, so instead I'm evolving my look.
Meanwhile, she inspired mixed feelings in female viewers. In the popular game of deciding which Sex and the City character you'd be, many viewers at the time would have said Carrie.
It's like I'm you. Or I will be when I turn 30.
That's because the other three were all clear, rigid types. It's easy to point to others in your life as Mirandas, Samanthas, and Charlottes, but Carrie was more multidimensional, and most of us perceive ourselves to be likewise complex.
Carrie Bradshaw is the individual. She's the person who's following her own path.
But at the same time, as Nussbaum points out, many female viewers didn't want to think of themselves as being a Carrie when she was making bad decisions. In our Miranda video, we talked about how Miranda Hobbs has gone from being the most disliked main character on the show to becoming an aspirational figure today. Meanwhile, the public perception of Carrie herself has arguably gone in the reverse direction. Carrie's surface qualities made her a delight to be around.
You broke up with James because he was too small. This guy's too big. Who are you, Goldie Cox?
But they also mask deeper problems in her mindset. It's easy to laugh off Miranda eating cake out of the garbage, but it's more unsettling to see Carrie chase after an emotionally immature man for years and spend her money irresponsibly.
I spent $40,000 on shoes and I have no place to live? I will literally be the old woman who lived in her shoes.
Since Sex and the City, we've seen plenty of complex female anti-heroes, but often these are women who act immorally, yet are exceptionally powerful or accomplished. But Carrie's shortcomings and vices are closer to our own.
This floor's non-smoking.
I have an addiction, sir!
It's actually pretty rare nowadays to see a female character on TV like her, who's as openly needy, neurotic, and self-absorbed, yet still likable as Carrie could be. So, you could say that Carrie was revolutionary in that she provoked uncomfortable feelings of identification in viewers who could relate to what she was going through even when they didn't want to.
Maybe I've dated men who were wrong for me, but who hasn't?
Like its heroine, Sex and the City contains some interesting contradictions. The women spend most of their time talking and thinking about men.
How does it happen that four such smart women have nothing to talk about but boyfriends?
But their female friends are the ones they share and analyze these sexual adventures with.
Our Saturday morning ritual. Coffee, eggs, and a very private dish session.
And these ladies are the platonic loves of each other's lives.
Maybe we could be each other's soulmates. And then we could let men be just these great, nice guys to have fun with.
So, while they do spend an extended period fixated on romance, along the way, these women prove themselves to be very independent, career-focused, friend-first people.
The most exciting, challenging, and significant relationship of all is the one you have with yourself.
All of these contradictions of the show are embodied in Carrie, and that's what makes her so maddening, inspiring, and fascinating.
Maybe some women aren't meant to be tamed.
And so it's only fitting that 20 years later we should raise a Cosmo to this trailblazing TV anti-hero who opened up a whole new world of possibilities.
I wanted to let you know that I'm getting married to myself. Oh, and I'm registered at Manolo Blahnik. So thanks. Bye.
This is Jillian Richardson. Jillian is a successful freelance writer who's been published in Salon and Marie Claire. And she teaches a class on SKILLSHARE on how to make it as a freelance writer.
I wanted to create this class because I want to show that you can be a professional full-time freelancer and it's not a pipe dream.
She can set you on the path to affording a closet full of Manolo Blahniks, on a writer's salary. That's why we really love SKILLSHARE's service. The classes are taught by amazing, accomplished working professionals in design, photography, social media, business, entrepreneurship, and more. In fact, SKILLSHARE has actually helped us at Screen Prism learn more about animation and design. They offer 20,000 classes about any skill you might want to learn, all for less than $10 a month. Right now, you can get 2 months access to all their classes for free, but that's only if you're one of the first 500 people who click the link in our description below. It's a great deal, so hurry up and don't miss out.